questions at any time during the session. And to do so, you'll see the Q&A panel over on the right-hand side of your screen. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them into the rectangular space at the bottom of that panel and then click on the send button. Now be aware if sufficient time remains, most questions will be addressed at the conclusion of the presentation, and questions you submit are typically not viewable by other attendees. And as a reminder, today's session is being recorded for later access. So with that, your first speaker is Kyle Olson, Solution Associate at Kovarus. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll turn things over to Kyle. Please go ahead, sir.
Hey everyone, first off I'd like to say thank you for joining today's webinar. As Kurt said, my name is Kyle Olson and I'm a Solutions Associate here at Kovarus. I'm going to give you a quick and very high level introduction to Kovarus before handing it over to Tommy and Russell for the Ansible portion of today's webinar. Kovarus was founded in 2003. At the time we operated like your everyday traditional VAR. We focused on a handful of strategic partnerships to deliver point solutions to our customers. Fast forward to 2010 when our leadership decided to make a core philosophical change. We really knew as a reseller that you were only good as the last box you sold. So as a result, our principals decided to make a heavy investment to our engineering team. We decided we needed to be able to deliver fully integrated solutions and focus more on business outcomes with our customers. While we continue to work with many of our technology partners at the reseller level, we now implement, support, and improve their offerings. As a company, infrastructure optimization is at the core of our business. We have extensive experience delivering public, private, and hybrid cloud environments, all while expanding the functionality of what's already in place. We do this by using tools such as Ansible to enable human resources to do more quality work in less time. The end goal with the use of all these new technologies, along with other strategies like application refactoring and containerization, is to enable the business to solve tactical problems efficiently and improve the way we all work. As you can see, as we have brought on new resources and new strategic partnerships, we are held high in the community. We hold many high-level certifications and accreditations with vendors such as Red Hat and have been included in the Inc. 500 growing companies continuously year over year. So with that, I'll throw it over to Russell and Tommy to dive into the Ansible portion of the presentation.
Excellent. So thanks, Kyle. My name is Tommy Burke, and I'm a Senior Solution Architect with Red Hat. And what we're going to do today is we're actually going to just kind of give you a little bit of introduction to just kind of give an overview of Red Hat in case some of you guys aren't familiar with some of our products and services. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into a kind of a deep dive of Ansible. We're just going to give you a kind of a high-level overview of the actual Ansible product for some people who have not had a chance to kind of see what it looks like and kind of understand it. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Russell, and we're going to spend the rest of our time actually going through some hands-on. So Russell's actually going to do live demos and kind of show you guys the simplicity of Ansible as well as the power that Ansible provides from the automation side. So in case some of you guys aren't familiar, Red Hat, we were founded in 1993. We are the #1 open source leader in the community. We provide, we've acquired many companies across the way till 2016, and we acquired Ansible in 2015. So we've had Ansible for a year now, and we're embedding Ansible into a lot of our products. So I mean, we definitely have adopted the Ansible methodology for automation. So a couple things just to point on the slide. As you can see, Red Hat is growing. We're strong. We're 8,800 people across the U.S. and majority, like 90% of all Fortune 500 companies, they actually have a form of Red Hat products in there. So as you can see, though, Red Hat is no longer just a Linux company anymore. We've grown and adapted, and built our software portfolio to meet, customers and business needs. As you can see, we are traded on the S&P stock, Fortune 500. We've got 35, offices worldwide. So, and we're, in 85 countries. So we're growing, still rapidly growing. So as you can see, we've accomplished quite a bit in a short amount of time. But one of the things I'd kind of like to point out is, just to make sure that we understand is that Red Hat, a lot of people, they think of Red Hat as just the Linux company. As you can see, we've actually grown quite a bit just from that illustration in the previous slide. So what you'll notice is that, we offer, storage systems. So we purchased Inktank, and we have Gluster. We are an OpenStack, so we have the OpenStack cloud. We've got cloud forms to manage the cloud as well. So we got CM in there. We've got our Rev product as well. So we're virtualized. So we've got a virtualization play. So and as well as the middleware side. So we've got JBoss. We've got we've got our Feed Henry for mobile. I mean, so we've really come a long ways, and we're moving into, and we continually will grow and pick up the companies in the open source way that we need to. Okay, so those are just a few things about Red Hat. What we want to do now is kind of talk a little bit about what Ansible, a little bit about Ansible. So go to the next slide here. So one of the things about Ansible is we like to think of it as it makes your smart people smarter. And I use Ansible on a regular basis, and I'll actually kind of talk a little bit later about some of the use cases. But reality is that it takes that mundane task that you guys have to do, and it could be on systems to networks to middleware to test and dev, and it actually makes that things that you're doing on a regular basis, it makes things a lot simpler, and you can speed your productivity up by it just depends on how much you got out there, but it can really increase your productivity. So one of the things about Ansible, just so you guys understand, Ansible is designed to be be minimal in nature, consistent, secure, highly reliable. With the real thing here is it's an extremely low learning curve. So something like the other products out there that you have, it takes months to kind of get into and understand how to do some of those automations. What you'll see is from when Russell gets in and actually does provides a demo, and we actually show you what a playbook, you'll understand the simplicity, and you can basically kind of follow the workflow. It's an extremely easy basically an easy automation tool to configure. So one of the things too to keep in mind is Ansible is an open source IT configuration management, deployment, and orchestration tool. It's unique in the forms of management tools because it's aimed to provide large productivity gains to a wide variety of automation challenges as more productivity drop in replacement for more capabilities in the automation solutions. So again, what we want to do is we want to make sure that Ansible, one of the primary design for Ansible is to make things simple. Okay, so one of the things you'll see is it's human readable. What you'll notice is when when Russell does go through and actually open up a playbook and you'll see it, even if you do not have any previous programming experience, the average person could actually sit and read and understand exactly what's going on in an Ansible playbook. It is written in YAML, and so it's very human readable. As far as power, it's extremely powerful. What's nice about it is it will level all types of skills. So it makes quicker time to get IT projects and less error-prone turnaround for IT configuration challenges. One of the things too is Ansible is an agentless tool that runs in a push model, so no software is required, and that's pretty powerful. It makes things very simple. So not only can I configure my servers, but now I can configure networks as well. So one of the things that it does use is Ansible is default manages remote machines over SSH, so for Linux and Unix, or WinRM for Windows. So you can configure Windows and Linux on this as well. So it uses a remote management framework that already exists natively on those platforms. So that's a pretty powerful statement. Okay. So just to kind of talk about how Ansible works. So this is kind of the overall picture. And what I'm going to do is kind of dive into each one of these topics. So from like the Ansible playbooks to the users to inventories. So we're actually going to kind of dive into how Ansible works here so you guys can actually see it, and we'll talk through some of these. So like I was saying, Ansible forms automation orchestration via playbooks. So playbooks are a YAML definition of automation tasks that will describe how a particular piece of automation should be done. Okay, and what you'll notice is it's very simple. We use modules in there as well, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But it's very simple, language to write, code. Okay, so one of the things about, a module. So modules are written in a manner to allow an easy configuration of design state. So they check the tab